Hello everybody, Cal Kimmy here, and I am here today to react to Emirichu, Clumsy, featuring Wolfychu. Now, I understand that completely. I am a very clumsy person. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I have hit my knee, hit my foot, hit my head on something. Like, God, it is amazing that I've never broken any bones, considering how many times I have hurt myself on something. And it could be and it could be something that's not even moving, and somehow I hurt myself on it.
Anyone who knows me can tell you that I am a klutz. I have been cursed with perpetual clumsiness since probably birth. My older brother's favorite nickname for me is Clumsy Ox, which he's used since I was little and still uses to this day. My brothers told me that when I was a baby, my head was so cartoonishly big that I'd fall over from wherever I was sitting, especially if I was on some elevated surface. For context, here's what I looked like as a baby. Take a good look at that chonker. They'd say in the middle of the night they'd occasionally be woken up by the sound of... I've fallen on my head/face so many times as a toddler, which maybe explains a lot. Like, I could have gone to Harvard, but I've been cruising through life with probably 7 brain cells. I have zero spatial awareness, so I'm constantly accidentally ramming my hips into the same table corner, or tripping over something, or knocking something over. It's as if I just forget body parts are a thing, you know? Overall, I'm a clumsy person, but surprisingly, I seem to do pretty well in heels. I think it's because heels sort of add a +5 buff to your style and confidence, and you feel like you have to do them justice and walk in perfectly balanced strides without a single misstep. Once the heels are on, you're that bad bitch. You're Washimi from Agretzko. You're the grown-up version of Chibiusa. You're Patrick Star in fishnet stockings. Heels make me feel like a woman of elegance, poise, and nicely toned calves, but as soon as they're off, it's back to being a klutz.
Okay, but having high heels is like a secret weapon is amazing, though. I can't even take one step in heels.
My clumsiness is actually worse when I'm not wearing shoes, if you can believe it. I really like wearing stockings and over-the-knee socks because they're cute and allow me to stay warm without having to wear pants. But as it turns out, walking on hardwood flooring with them on is like indoor ice skating. There have been way too many moments where I ran up someone's hardwood floors in tights or socks and just completely slipped and ate it on the last step, resulting in bruises and lots of writhing on the floor in pain. There's a few stories that stick out when I think about my clumsy moments throughout the years, and I'm just gonna go through a few one by one in chronological order. The banister. Somehow, despite everything, I have never broken a bone in my life. I have, however, sprained my ankle once. When I was in 6th grade, my middle school had these really long stairs that led to the 2nd and 3rd floors, and I'd always see kids sliding down the banister in between classes. The older kids always made it look so easy, and it honestly looked like a lot of fun. One day I was walking with some friends while it was quiet in the hallways, and when we came across the stairs, I thought to myself, now is the perfect time to slide down this banister. I'm gonna look so freaking cool. I've always wanted to do this. So I did, and as you've probably guessed, I landed on my face, spraining my ankle in the process. Had to use crutches for a short time after that, and I've never attempted to slide down any banisters ever since.
Oh my gosh, I remember wanting to try this too when I was little because I thought it would be so fun. But I was too short to even get up on the banister. It's probably a good thing though, because I'm pretty sure I would have done the same thing as you.
The pickles. So when I was 13, there was one wintry morning where I'd woken up early and decided to make myself a sandwich to pack for school. I was struggling with opening the pickle jar, and I decided I absolutely needed these pickles in my sandwich. But since my parents weren't home, I called up my best friend who lived just a few houses away from me and asked if I could bring over my pickle jar real quick so she could open it for me. Listen, I really needed these pickles. It was non-negotiable. I bring over my pickle jar, she graciously opens it for me, and I excitedly hurry off back to the direction of my house. However, it was winter, and there was a fresh patch of ice on the sidewalk in front of her front door. So my friend waved me goodbye by and watched me happily run with my pickle jar, and then immediately slip on ice and fall on the ground, the pickle jar smashing into pieces beside me. She hurried over to where I was laying and yelled, "Oh my God, Emily, are you okay? Your hand is bleeding." And the only thing I could respond with was,
when I was just
"But
getting out of
my
school and I
pickles."
slipped so hard.
I had my sandwich with no pickles that
It
day.
was around the time
Tragic.
everybody was getting out of school
Skate
and a
queen.
bunch of people saw
A couple
me.
years ago, I worked as a
Some
camp
were
counselor for
laughing
one
and
summer.
others were
It was a
like,
pretty
"Oh,
fun
are
and
you
tiring
okay?"
job, though most of the
was
fun
just
came from going on field trips during the day, like laser tag, the zoo, ice skating, the park,
It really
etc.
hurt.
Ice skating was my
really,
personal favorite
really
because it meant we got to stay inside a super cold building and get away from the scorching summer sun. But the most memorable trip for me would have to be when we went roller skating. This was my first time roller
I
skating
couldn't
ever, and
do
I was
that.
so
I do
excited to
remember
try
one
it
time
out.
when I was little,
It
I
was
had tried to
surprisingly
roller skate.
difficult. I quickly
Surprisingly,
figured
I
out
didn't
how to
hurt
pick up
myself
speed
that
and
bad.
skate really quickly around the rink.
think I did
But what did
slip
not
once,
come to me
but
as quickly was
surprisingly,
figuring out how to
didn't hurt
brake.
myself too
In an
bad.
ice skating rink, you
I
at
think it
least have
was
walls
because I
you can
did try
kind of
going
slam yourself
far
into if
away.
you
I
really
did,
need to
like,
stop yourself.
maybe one
But in this roller
or 2
skating
feet.
rink, there was
It
none
was-
of that. In
and then I
between the
was
wall
like,
and the
no,
rink,
no,
there was
no.
a slightly elevated carpet area, and if you happened to go a little too fast and hit it, you'd be sent flying onto the carpet. I learned this the hard way. So kids, being the competitive, energetic little buggers they are, would ask, "Miss Emily, let's see who can go faster!" And, as the adult chaperone, the proper response would have been, "That sounds like fun, but as your camp counselor, it's my responsibility to make sure all of you are safe and having a good time, so I'm going to be taking it slow, but I'm more than happy to watch you skate as fast as you'd like." But instead, it was, "Oh yeah, bring it on, small child! I will leave you in the dust where you stand!" So being able to
Yeah,
skate
that-
super fast around the rink
that
impressed the
would
kids
never
for a
did
short
me. I would've
while,
been like,
up until I
"Okay,
inevitably
cool."
caught my roller skate on the carpeted edge and threw myself onto the floor.
Yep.
And let me tell you, it burns when your skin rubs against the rink floor. And for some reason, I just kept doing it. Half because I was genuinely having a lot of fun, and half because I felt like I needed to redeem myself. It'd gotten to the point where some of the other counselors would be like, "You want to sit out for a bit? I can switch out with you," because they were just watching me turn myself into an animated ragdoll and not setting a stellar example for the kids.
That sounds like fun, though. I tried roller skating once back in school, and it really didn't end well either. I put them on and instantly just slipped down to the ground and couldn't get back up. Imagine a turtle that's fallen on its back. That's what I looked like. I haven't tried skating again since then. One day, we were at a restaurant with friends. It was a restaurant where you could also pay to play board games at your table. I'd never seen something like that before, so I thought that was neat. It seemed like a nice restaurant, although the food wasn't amazing. We ordered the spaghetti, which was like $30, and we were like 90% sure that it was literally just canned spaghetti. Anyway, by the time we were gonna leave to go home, it started pouring down with rain super heavy. It was starting to look like some kind of water park outside. Since it looked like it wasn't gonna stop anytime soon, we had no choice but to just run for the car. It was intense running through the heavy rain. We didn't have umbrellas, so I was trying to cover my head with my hands and run fast. And then we finally reached the car, and I hopped in and just let out a sigh of relief to be out of that craziness. And then I looked up and saw a random woman in the driver's seat. I was so confused, it took me a moment to realize what was happening. The woman looked really shocked, and then I realized I'd hopped into a stranger's car. I freaked out and jumped out of the car straight away. I didn't say anything to her. I didn't even apologize. I just ran to Jordan's car and hopped in. He was just laughing like crazy while I was just dying from embarrassment, and we saw the woman in the other car speed away. Getting into the wrong car had always been one of those weird little fears of mine, and I can't believe I actually did it. I think I might have traumatized that lady a bit too. She probably doesn't leave her car unlocked anymore.
I feel like a lot of people like to assume clumsiness is an inherently cutesy trait. Like,
Trust me when I say
oh
this.
no,
I'm
you've
a
tripped
very
over a
clumsy
breeze
person,
and
and it is not a
delicately
cute
fallen
trait.
into your
It
arms.
is
I'm
so
such a
not
klutz.
cute.
When in reality, it's accidentally bruising yourself a little too often, waking up your roommates because you ran into everything trying to walk to the kitchen in the middle of the night for a glass of water, having to spend extra time cleaning up spills and dropped items, accidentally breaking things, hearing something like, Emily, how did you run into a screen door? What are you, a bird? And overall just feeling kind of incompetent. But it's okay. I always have my heels of deception.
Especially the whole
check out Wolfychu's part of this collab in the description.
Thing, but being a clumsy off and on. And like it's an inevitability that is going to make a loud sound. I remember sometimes when I would clean in the kitchen, I tried to be extra careful, but there was always that few times when I either A, accidentally cut myself, or B, I accidentally broke something that was made of glass. I remember one time I was being I was trying to be really careful. I think I had just finished cleaning the dishes, and I was trying to put one of the dishes up, but I didn't put it up very secure, and then boom, crash. And then it was in pieces. And then I was mortified thinking, how did I even do that? I thought I had put it inside. How did it crash like that? And I immediately just get the broom and everything. What's even worse is to this day, I still don't know how the heck it slipped out. I still don't know how it slipped out of my hand like that and crashed. I just keep replaying in my head. I still don't know how it broke like that. Oh, well then. Wait, yeah. Just like Emily and Wolfychu, I am a total klutz. It is a miracle that I have never broken a bone. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.